Welcome back. Now, our next guest is a best-selling author whose 10th and most recent novel has earned her an Ireland AM On Post Book Award. She's in the Ireland AM category.
That's the only category that matters.
That's the only one that matters, obviously.
Yes, join us to discuss her literary career is author Faith Hogan. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning, Faith. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Thanks for having me, both of you.
This is novel number 10.
This is, believe it or not, novel number 10.
The Bookshop Ladies. Tell us about
it. So the Bookshop Ladies, not all of my books, but the last 7 or 8 of my books have been set in a fictional village called Ballycove. So they're located on the northwest corner of Mayo, from East Sligo right the way over to Balmullet, so the scenery is fabulous. This particular book it's the story of 3 women brought together on the death of a man called Yves Bachand. The wife, the mistress and the daughter. They're united in trying to save a struggling bookshop. There's a missing first edition, and I suppose the book it's uplifting women's fiction. You can tell by the cover it's uplifting women's fiction. And it's a story about, I would say finding home, but I'd say maybe more finding your place in the world.
Which is a lovely thing, and you did at the start of it. I always find it interesting with your books, as you said, the last 6 or 7 have been set in Ballycove. It's like Jessica Fletcher in Cabot Cove on Murder, She Wrote. A lot happens in Ballycove, doesn't it?
A lot happens in Ballycove.
Like, I'm telling you, all life is in Ballycove. But your readers really take to it being set in Ballycove, don't they? There's a warmth to it.
There really is. And the number of readers who come back from all sorts of places and say, can we go there? Really? What's it like? And I've had people texting me and messaging me from places from China, from places in America where you think they're like basking in the heat, and we're sitting there looking out at puddles in the garden, do you know? And you think, really? But actually, I suppose it's the familiarity of it, and characters will pop up again and again. So while they're not continuation books, there's a familiarity to it, and I think that's what people like.
And did you say you did want to base this book somewhere else? Where did you want to? Was it for the research trip? You were like, I see this next book in Paris.
How did you know?
I feel you could justify that.
But I thought so.
Your publisher was like, no, the readers won't want it.
So yes, I had visions of myself flitting around France for like 6 months. And I know that's unrealistic because I have children and a husband and a dog and I can't be gone. But so I thought I'd set it in the north of France. I thought that'll be lovely. It'll be different. It'll be a bit of a break for the readers. Bring them for a little holiday with me. It's not about me. But actually, I sent it to my agent and she said, really? I think readers are expecting to go to Ballycove this time. We've kind of teased them with it. And I think, so I had to sit down and rewrite, I'd say about half the book again.
No way.
I did.
No,
it was grand because when I step back into Ballycove, it's like going to a very familiar village to me. So, and it kind of is good in a way because I'm seeing people that are familiar to me and I sort of can bring their characters in from before. But so the whole thing had to be tumbled over again. But it worked out for the end. In the end, it worked out really well because I felt it was a better book for it.
Well, you got to start in Paris. You did get to start in Paris in the book.
I did for about 5 minutes.
For about 5 minutes and then you go back to Ballycove. But your editor might have been right because you have been nominated, as we mentioned. This is in the Ireland AM Popular Fiction Book of the Year in the On Post Book Awards. Your first nomination, and you're in the category with the likes of Graham Norton, Marion Keyes, Rachel English, Cecilia Ahern is in there, and of course Paul Howard is Ross O'Carroll Kelly.
I know.
It's
amazing.
All the heavy hitters.
All the huge congratulations.
They're amazing writers. I know. You're just sitting there going,
But Faith, you're in this category now.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
At first, a total surprise because you're not kind of expecting it. You get the call a little bit beforehand and then you don't know until the night who's in that category with you. And I just sort of stood there. Like, I don't think I took one photograph on the night, you know. And it was a fantastic event. It was a lovely event in Unpost and everybody was really lovely. But I didn't take a photo. But because you're looking at all these big names, people who I've read over the years, like I have loved. Like their books, all of those people in my category I've loved. And the people who are in the other categories, I mean, you know, hello.
It's amazing. Congratulations.
Amazing writers.
What other authors have said about these awards is because it's such a solitary job that you do, this is like your work party. Like, it's just lovely to hang out and see the support that does seem very tangible, actually, I think, when you're interviewing authors, the support that is there. But it is lovely just to get to see your peers in person.
We are, I think most writers are solitary creatures by nature. We're quite happy to sit there for the day with our book in front of us and not sort of... But there comes a point where it's nice to break away from the desk. And it's always lovely to speak to writers. And I suppose the Bookshop Ladies, it's always lovely to speak to readers. Do you know what I mean? And book people.
But you have, and you dedicate this book to the booksellers and to people who do reviews, whether they be online, the people who champion word of mouth.
Yes.
And you developed quite a following online. Your first books were ebooks. You've done crime fiction under your name Geraldine Hogan, and then women's fiction, as you say, under Faith Hogan. And what do you make of that with the rise of Book Talk and all these kind of things? Because you really do have such a dedicated following online.
I have a big readership in ebooks. I'm not so sure how good I am on social media. Like, I have a lot of followers, and it's lovely to have followers. But a lot of my readers are so I suppose when I thank people from the bookshops, but also the book bloggers. Because I'm very conscious of the fact that those people they have read my books, number one, and then they sit down and write reviews, and then they shout about them. I mean, how great is that?
It's a lovely thing.
Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing in that for them other than the love of books. I mean, they're the best people. They really are.
It's a gorgeous thing to have.
Funny that your first book was an ebook, though. So, like, overnight you were a published author, but yet you didn't have it there tangible in your hands. How strange. How did it feel?
I've had an amazing journey in that I started off, I wrote crime books to start.
Yeah.
And my agent is an agent who has discovered quite a number of big names in sort of much more middle ground fiction. So people like Kate Atkinson and Lisa Jewell would have both been discovered by my agent. And she said to me, after a few of the crime books, we were kind of finding it very hard to float them. And she said, would you try something else? And my first women's fiction book was the one that was picked up, but it was picked up initially as an ebook. And I thought, well, that's not bad, because I've hadn't really read anything in women's fiction for years and years. It's yonks since I read anything, on that end. I was crime books. And it came out in E, and the whole intention of that book was we'd do 3 ebooks, and that was it. And by the following year, within 3 months, I had surpassed their target of sales for the year. And so they looked at the book again, and not all books transfer into bookshop books, because it's a different kind of readership. But very fortunately, mine did. And so since book 1, we've been in the bookshops.
And you are going to have to create a Ballycove out the back of your house so that people can visit it. It is called the Bookshop Ladies. Faith has been nominated for the Ireland AM Popular Fiction Book of the Year at the Irish Book Awards, the An Post Irish Book Awards. And you can cast your vote for your favourite book at onpostirishbookawards.ie. And voting closes tonight at 5 p.m. We're not pushing anything, by the way. We are unbiased. We have talked to everyone in the category. There we go.
We need to say that.
Thank you
Good
Thank
to
you
see you.
so much for coming in, and best of luck.
Thank you so much for having me.